There are so many components that you need to worry about as a business owner when it comes to your daily operations in managing your business and just making sure that it's super successful. So, today I want to specifically speak about different issues that we face in business ownership. And we're going to go over some things that we have to deal with in the insurance industry, but this really applies to any business that you might have. It can be so overwhelming to have to be really good at all of these things to make sure that your business is well rounded and running smoothly to get you to the success that you're looking for, the reason why you started this business. I want to go over the first part. The first part for anything is awareness. The minute that you can be aware of what the items are and what things you need to do, that's the minute that you can actually decide to do something about them and start taking action. As you're listening to this video and all the things that I'm going to go over, make sure that you're writing these items down. And at the end, what I want you to do is look at this list and just pick your top 3 things, your top 3 areas that you know you need to focus on, that you know you need to strengthen so that you can start taking action today. So let's take a look at what these things are. They are in no particular order. I literally just brain dumped a bunch of things that I know that we face because I've been doing this for over 13 years in multiple industries. So the first issue that we face is having to hire and recruit quality staff. It is so important. You've probably heard the saying that your team will make or break you, and I cannot emphasize how true and how important this is. And even as I'm talking through all of these different items that you need to think about as a business owner, also need to worry about how you can start taking those things off your plate and utilize a team to get these things done. You should not be the person wearing all the hats in your business, right? And so hiring quality staff, recruiting the right people to be on your team is one of the biggest things that we need to make sure that we are doing well in order for us to be able to scale, in order for us to be able to step away from our business and to have a team that's helping us get and achieve the things that we want. The next thing is really making sure that we are tracking all the income producing activities, all the key performance indicators in our business. You have to have some type of management system, some type of tracking system, being able to pull data when you need to so that you can understand what's really going on in your business and not just base it off of your gut and assumption. This is something I talk about so much. And when we were able to really collect the data that was important and understanding which metrics we needed to measure, I was able to make such better decisions in real time in my business for us to continue to scale and grow. Another item is making sure that we're doing well with managing our money, but more specifically, taking a look at profit margins, taking a look at the percentages of what things are costing you in operations and how much money you're actually making. And as you look at these profit margins, how can you continue to increase that percentage even by 0.5%, 1%, because that's going to be more profit in your pocket. The next item is lead generation, customer acquisition. You have to have a way to generate leads, to get people into your business, to help solve problems for your target audience, and understanding that it is your responsibility to acquire and get all these people into your business, into your sales funnel, so that you can start selling and making more profit in your business. Once you've sold these customers, now it's time to look into how to get client retention. How do you increase the retention? How do you increase the lifetime value of a client that you now have in your business? That is something that's going to continue to increase your profit margins, but also make sure that you're doing a really good job with customer satisfaction and increasing that revenue into your business. Another item and issue that we face as a business owner and teaching our team how to be good at this is time management. If you are not dedicating time, which sounds really ironic, if you are not dedicating enough time to learn how to be productive, how to manage your time, we all have the same amount of time in a day, in a week, and some of us are just better at being more productive. But that is a skill that you can learn and get better and better at as we understand our ways of being productive, what works for us, how to stay organized with all the tasks that we need to do, and make sure that we're doing them in the best context of time that we have available. The next thing is that in today's society, you have to have an online presence. You have to also make sure that you've got social media platforms, social media accounts, that you're putting yourself out there, that you're doing a really good job showing people who you are, what you do, and who you do it for, so that you can continue that lead generation and client acquisition funnel. And so social media management is a huge piece as a business owner today in the world that we're living in. And as we talked about having a tracking system, I want you to take time and make sure that you're looking at your closing ratios and your sales ratios. I talked about this in last week's week's video on how to really dive in and analyze the data and take a look at what's happening in your sales process so that you can manage those items and what are the things that are working and not working. And so keeping track of your closing ratio and making sure that the clients that you are acquiring are actually closing and at what rate, and how you can make sure that gets better. Now, we talked a little bit about recruiting and hiring and getting a quality team in your business. But in order for that team to be successful, the next thing you need to worry about and the next issue we face is creating and implementing structure and systems. Having systems and processes and procedures and workflows in the way you want business conducted is what's going to help your team go from just being great quality candidates to actually producing and taking action and bringing in the results and having the high performance that you need them to do. And if you don't have these structures and systems, everybody's just going to be doing what they think they should be doing. And most of the time, it doesn't work out. And it's not really a reflection on them. It's a reflection on your ability to create those structures and systems that people need, that people are thirsty for, to know what it is that you need them to do and how you need them to do it. Now, this next item has to do with being in the insurance business, but it could probably be applied to any business. And that's going to be tracking your book of business, tracking how much you're growing, tracking how many clients you have, what type of carriers you're working with, what type of policies you're selling, the type of commissions that you're making, and what clients are leaving, what clients are staying, do you have chargebacks, what is going on in the activity of your book of business so that you can have a really good grip on what's actually happening. So it's so important that you're tracking those items as well as the things that I talked about before on the measurements and metrics you need to measure when it comes to the actual sales process and your lead acquisition, but what is actually happening. So I track these items in my insurance business on a monthly and then quarterly basis. And I go back through and really take a look at what's happening in our business so that, again, I'm not just basing it off assumption, but I actually have the data to be able to see what's happening in my business. And I think we get so busy that we don't take time to go back and do these things. Now, as we talked about recruiting and hiring quality staff, and we talked about creating and implementing structures and systems, we also need to get better at delegating and letting go and allowing your team to help you get these things done. I think this is a huge issue that we have, especially as women as well in business. We have a hard time trusting other people to take something on and actually get it done and perform it to the level that we would perform it ourselves. So you really need to work on doing a good job delegating and just being able to let go. The next issue that we face is there's not a lot of training. There's not a lot of support when it comes to learning how to conduct business. It's really important for you to find mentors, find coaches, find consultants. That would be something that I would help you do. But being able to find the right people that you can hook arms with that can help you really speed up the process of learning the things, getting through those learning curves, really understanding where you should be focusing your time, where you shouldn't, where you should be spending your money, what are the strengths and weaknesses that you have so that you can just become a better leader and really take your business to the next level. We talked a little bit about lead generation, but another thing that we need to get better at and we really need to manage on top of customer satisfaction and on top of different partnerships that we might have in our community for lead generation and customer acquisition is getting better at asking for referrals. I think it's just something very uncomfortable. We feel like we're just trying to sell people, but at the end of the day, I've built a multi seven-figure business just based off referrals in the last 6 years since we've gone from captive to independent. And that's our number one lead source. Don't be afraid to ask people for referrals. If you're doing a good job in taking care of them, they're going to be willing to send you people that maybe they had a conversation with over the weekend and they were talking about insurance and suddenly you came up and they referred you as someone to do business with. It doesn't have to be this, oh, fill out 3 people that we can help and we can talk to on this sheet of paper. Asking for referrals is definitely an art, but it is something that you have to make sure you and your team are getting good at. And don't be afraid to ask people for the opportunities to earn their business. The next item is taking a look at your marketing and lead generation costs. Knowing that you have a budget, figuring out where are you spending money, which of those leads that you are spending money to generate are actually converting, and paying attention to your cost over the revenue that it's generating. And I think that's something that we don't do enough, is really analyzing and making sure we're tracking our marketing and lead generation efforts and our cost. So that's something that you should be paying attention to. The next item is burnout and just feeling like a lack of motivation. This industry, when it comes to insurance and any business in general, can really be overwhelming. And when you're doing the same thing every day over and over, and you're coming across these issues and you're not being intentional in tracking and taking action on the things that I'm talking about, you're going to get burnt out. You are only one person. You are human. There's no way you're going to be able to handle all of these things by yourself and do all of these things well if you're not very intentional. And so it's important for you to pay attention when you're burning out, to have things that you do to help you with getting through this burnout phase and bringing in that fire back that you had when you started this business, that excitement. And so what things can you be doing to make sure you're not getting to the burnout phase? But if you do, how do you get out of it? And how do you continue to push through and get more motivation so that you can just keep continuing and growing and scaling your business? Now that leads me to the next thing, which is all about making sure that you have really good mindset habits. I think the number one thing that I help people with when it comes to consulting, and you might think it's implementing processes and teaching them all these things and helping them get through all these issues in their business, which is a big part of it. But I would say if there was one thing that if somebody did this, if somebody really paid attention to this and got really good at it, they would be more successful than anybody in any processes they can possibly have. And that is their mindset. It is so important that you have really strong mental health, that you keep pushing through things when they are hard, that you have good conversations with yourself, that you can sift through the bullshit and really get focused on the things you need to do. And mindset habits is one of the biggest things that if you can tackle and get through those hurdles and learn some skills and tactics on how to get better at that, you are going to be so far beyond a lot of people in the industry or just in business ownership in general. It's the number one thing that I think helps businesses thrive and stay in business longer than that deadly 5-year mark. Your mindset and your mental health is so important when it comes to you being a leader in your business. So make sure you're paying attention to your mind, the things that you say to yourself, and try to gain some habits and some ways for you to keep that going and just keep elevating your mindset every single day. Another item is when we finally have some people on our team, we tend to unfortunately do this thing we call hiring fast and firing slow. And what that means is that you get in a desperate position, you just start hiring people quickly. When you're conducting interviews, you might like somebody's personality, but there's a ton of red flags and you just completely ignore them because you are nurturing and you feel like you see all this potential in someone and you're spending too little time really making sure that candidate's the right person for you to onboard into your business and spend all this time and energy and money in training them and trying to get them to do a great job in your business. And unfortunately, we need to slow down. We need to make that process a little bit more in depth. I don't want you to take too much time when you're hiring, but I want you to be intentional and really pay attention to what you're doing instead of making excuses on why this person's going to be amazing and not hire too fast. I promise you, there are enough people in the world for you to be a little bit more diligent on how many people you're interviewing and how many people you're maybe going through this process with and maybe making that offer to. On the flip side, let's say you've hired people and they're just not working out and you take months and months and months to unfortunately fire them and get rid of them in your business because they're either toxic, they're not performing, they're wasting your money, you start resenting them. There's a whole ocean of issues that come up with that. It's important for you to understand that when somebody's not working out and you know it in your gut, it's time to let them go. The next item is staying innovative, looking at technology, trying to understand what things are happening in your industry or in the world in general that can help you become a better business owner. I know that technology is daunting. I know that there seems like there's so much innovation happening every single day. You just can't keep up. But you have to be paying attention, at least dedicating some time to learn what new things are coming out and how do you stay relevant and how do you conduct business in a way that's innovative so that your clients and the people that you're bringing in, you get to give them a unique experience that maybe your competitors are not. And so staying innovative is a really important and good thing for you to focus on when it comes to trying to tackle the things that are happening in your business. The next item is that we business owners tend to hunker down, tend to put our head down and get to work, and it becomes really lonely. We need to focus on building new professional relationships and getting more people in your tribe, having people you can lean on, that you can talk to, that you can brainstorm brainstorm things with and strategize with, and just be able to kind of shoot the shit sometimes and just not feel so alone. And building professional relationships is probably one of the biggest things that I've focused on in the last few years. And I no longer feel alone in things that I'm doing. I have people I can lean on. And I think it's really important that if you're feeling alone and you're feeling like you don't have some people in your tribe, look for them. Don't be afraid. We are out here. You are welcome to be part of this tribe and this community. And there's a ton of resources and links below in the description that will help you start to become part of our tribe and our community. And we'd love to have you. And I think it makes such a huge difference when you can really find a group of people that you can lean on. The next issue we face, especially in the insurance industry, but also in any business, is carrier relationships, getting carriers, getting appointed with carriers. Now, for another business, that might mean getting the right vendors in place, getting the right people to work with so that you can actually deliver on the products and services that you and your business are marketing and branding to. And so I know this is a very tough topic in our industry, specifically in insurance, but it's something that you have to focus on. You've got to build those relationships. You've got to stay in constant communication. You've got to know who has appetites for the things that you're generating leads on and the business that you want to write, and how are your relationships with these carriers and what things you need to do to make sure you're best fit to get appointed with the right people. Another thing that's an issue that we face is, again, having that social media presence also includes having an online presence. And I think a lot of business owners struggle with getting reviews, getting testimonials, and really making sure they are maximizing on their SEO when it comes to Google and search and all of these things. And we have to be, again, intentional and pay attention to ways and processes that we can implement that are going to help us get more reviews. Just something as simple as every single client of ours, once they become a client and or add more policies or add more products and services that they purchase from us, we send them an automatic message asking them to give us a review. We hit the iron while it's hot. We just provided something that will hopefully help them and they're satisfied. And so we ask them for a review. We make the process super simple. And since then, we get 2 to 3 reviews almost every single day on Google, just to help us continue to be better in search and ranking higher in Google. And I think reviews are really, really important for your business. But also, how fun is it and how great of a feeling is it when you go into your email and you see that people have reviewed your business and they're giving you good feedback? And at the same time, even if you're getting not great feedback, it's a learning experience. It's meant for you to learn on what went wrong and how you can stop those things from happening in the future. Another thing a business owner struggle with is consistency. Just like I was talking about time management and getting more productive and implementing systems and processes into your business, those are things going to help you stay consistent. And the better you are as a leader at staying consistent and continuing to do processes that are going to project into the right results that you need, your team needs to know how to be consistent as well. And without making sure you have these structures and systems, and without making sure you're teaching your team how to be more productive with their time and be better at time management, you're not going to be able to teach them how to be consistent if you are not someone who's doing that. Another item we face that is a huge struggle is building authority and building credibility in your community as a leader in your industry, as a business that provides a product or service. How do you build that authority? And that's going to look like your marketing and branding. That's going to look like the testimonials and reviews that you're getting. That's going to look like being able to say, hey, we were able to do this for this person. Building credibility and authority also comes with showing up consistently and showing up consistently online. Just as an example with social media, it's not always about how much quality you have in your content creation or how amazing your post was or video was. It's more about you showing up every single day and staying consistent. That builds trust with your audience and builds trust in your community, that they see you often and they know you're not going away and you're taking this serious. And that means they should be taking you serious. So making sure that you are working on figuring out ways to build authority and credibility in your community. Oh man, this is going to be a big one. So those of you in our industry know that one of the biggest issues we face is how much service work we have. Service work is all about taking care of our clients, all of their needs, and making sure that we're delivering on the promise of what we sold them. We told them we were going to be doing this, and we told them we're going to give them this product and that we can solve this problem. And we need to maintain that customer satisfaction through the inquiries and the issues and challenges and things that clients need from us so that we can show up to provide that solution for that need. And the amount of service work that we get can be daunting. It can be a struggle, but with the right people and the right systems and processes in place, staying consistent and showing up every single day to take care of these people, the service work isn't going to be as big of a struggle as it might be before you have these things. Now we get to the point of talking about another issue that I know is really hard for people to kind of wrap their head around. It's how to structure pay and how to structure compensation for this A-class team that you're trying to hire and trying to manage. And compensation is going to depend on the type of industry that you're in, what's the standard, but also what can you afford? What are the things that you can offer to somebody to motivate them and make them happy to continue working with you towards the goals that you have? And so structuring your compensation and your pay is going to be a little bit individualized, but trying to figure out ways that you can bonus your team and give them commissions for things. And all of these should be connected to income producing activities. And if you are going to pay them a base or a salary or an hourly rate, they need to know what that base and hourly rate is actually paying for. What are the items they need to be doing for this? How do they actually maximize the compensation and the bonus structure that you've put in place? Give them real life examples of the things that they can achieve if they were to hit these metrics, and make sure you're tracking them, and make sure you're constantly taking a look at the compensation and asking yourself, is this still a good plan for where I'm going and for the team that I have? Okay, so now that we've gone through a ton of things you have to worry about, and I really tried to make it specific on things that I see over and over again business owners struggle with, I want you to look at the list that you've written down, and I want you to pick 3 things. Just pick 3. I know you might be struggling in all of these areas, but pick 3 that are like, if I really strengthen these, it might solve some other problems that I have or some other issues that I'm facing. And really, I just wanted to get you aware of these things, because sometimes we forget there's other components of our business we need to be focusing on when we're so busy maybe doing the things in our business. I recently did a video that talks about the difference between working on your business than in your business, and I think it's a really great one to help you understand too where you should be focusing and what is the difference between working in my business and on my business, and how do I make that shift. So take your top 3, let us know in the comments below what are the top 3 things out of this list you're going to be focusing on, and I'd love to give you some feedback and maybe even direct you to some resources to help you get started on there. As always, we have a ton of value in the description box below. Please connect with us, and I hope that this helped give you awareness so that now you can start taking action. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you very soon. Bye.